Above the Basement, Boston Music and Conversation is recorded at beautiful Woods Hill Table Restaurant in West Concord, Massachusetts. Woods Hill Table owns a farm in Bath, New Hampshire, where they raise their own meat. They offer a full raw bar and fresh fish caught off the coast of Massachusetts, and they even harvest their own maple syrup and honey for use in the restaurant. Local farms supply all their vegetables and grains, and Chef Charlie Foster uses international cooking techniques to create fantastic, seasonally focused cuisine. Go to woodshilltable.com for reservations or call 978-369-6300. Hello everyone, this is Chuck Plow from Above the Basement, Boston Music and Conversation. Guitarist Perry Bakalos heads the Perry Bakalos Group and is also a member of award-winning band Atlas Soul. Perry is also an electrical engineer, and he has his own recording studio called Erudite Effects. Mr. Bakalos has been a great help to Ronnie and I as we tried to get our recording rig here up to speed, but his improvisational skills on the guitar are what really blow us away. You can check out his music and all his other projects at perrybakalos.com. You are about to hear a cut off of his Essential Hazzard album called Chasin Pigeons from his former band of the same name, and at the end of the conversation we'll play a cut from Atlas Soul's Gypsy Wind called It Won't Take Long. So here's our conversation with Perry, recorded at Woods Hill Table in Concord, Massachusetts. Never sound as sexy as Perry. So there's some water there for you too.
Chuck, where's his glass?
I gave you a glass. Didn't you get a glass? I have some in the car.
I got it right here.
No, but you got a above the basement glass, didn't you?
Oh, did you guys have special glasses?
Oh gosh. Okay. Well, I thought I gave you
Wow.
one, but I'm gonna give. I have them in the car.
All
and we have
right,
special
awesome.
glasses. Yeah. There
He
it is.
sells them out of the car. It's kind of awkward. He's like, I got this podcast. You want a
I
glass?
don't sell it out of the car.
Yeah, but Chuck, the glass is a little small.
Well, I know. You know, it looks bigger on the internet. I thought
Everything looks bigger on the internet, Chuck.
I thought it was going to be like a pint glass, and it's
Feels
glass.
good.
Yeah, well, it's hefty. It's not bad.
Yeah.
All right, so Perry, so this is you're finally here as a guest and not a engineer.
Yeah,
which is your forte.
I really
actually.
appreciate you guys inviting me on.
Oh, man.
I think it's great. And
You sound surprised that we'd ask you on.
Pleasure.
I mean,
You're a talented guy, dude. I mean, I was looking at some. I'd played with you once.
That's not why we had him on, though.
Ron and I played with you once, and you did some electric guitar for the Butler Frogs, and then I saw you play at Rapscallions, and I was like, wow, you were doing some pretty complicated stuff. And then I started Googling you, and I found some video of you. I can't remember where you were. It looked like you were in like this little restaurant somewhere. There was like four of you, and I think you had the horn player there with you too.
Rapscallions?
No, it wasn't Rapscallions. No, it was a Google video.
Oh.
And you were just ripping on the jazz guitar, and it was awesome.
Well, Perry played with us at Slater's.
Right, that's
on
the one
bass.
I was talking about before. No, he was on the guitar there.
Oh, yeah. It's Slater's. I remember playing with you
pizza
guys at
place.
Slater's. That was on guitar.
That was on guitar.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And you played with
Oh,
us
yeah.
at Harvard.
Yeah,
on
in
the
Harvard
bass.
General Store was on the bass.
Right.
Subbing for Tim. Yeah.
Right.
And the awesome thing about when we rehearsed for that is that you showed up with a self-made bass amp that you made out of a sump pump
Sewage basin
thing. Yeah. Yes. And it was really cool. It had handles on it, like on both sides and everything. I'm like, what is that bass? And he's like, oh, I made it.
Yeah.
So it smelled really good.
No,
it was new.
It was brand new.
It was brand new.
Oh, okay.
You silly man.
Maybe I should have used already used.
Just to really get all the senses.
That'd be more rock and roll.
Yeah,
if you did that. But I certainly
Man,
wouldn't
that
appreciate.
bass stank. Did you hear him play? It's stanky.
I wouldn't have appreciated bringing it to my house.
No, really, it smelled.
So Perry, thank you for doing this, and thank you for all your help in trying
pleasure.
to get all this
Seriously.
stuff up. You can see we've minimized our footprint here. We don't have the big mixer anymore.
Yeah,
So
it's nice compact. You guys got a nice setup here.
it's good. Yeah.
Quality stuff.
As long as we get it to work and we get rid of these flies that are flying around our head and landing on
Yeah.
it. So
There's this one fly that's coming, and it's going from each one of us. It went to Perry, then you, then me.
Yeah.
It's only one.
I don't know, maybe there's
It's-
only one fly in here, but I'm going to kill that thing if it's the last thing I do.
Yeah.
So one of the impressive things that you and I, we don't know each other that long, maybe a year or something.
Yeah,
like that,
year
right?
and a half, maybe 2 years.
And you're kind of a quiet guy. You seem kind of quiet, and then all of a sudden I see you ripping on that guitar. I'm like, oh my god, this guy's really good. And it's kind of the opposite of Ron,
Yeah.
where Ron kind
Loud
of
but
sings
bad.
his praises of himself. And
No, Ron.
no, Ron is good. I'm kidding.
Ron's-
Of course.
He likes the
Like you.
dichotomy here
Yeah.
in this conversation.
Right. I mean, both of you guys have very good sense of humor. from
Yes,
my
I hope
experience
it.
with
I
you.
hope it comes across in these microphones. Sometimes people might think I'm a jerk,
Yeah.
but
You think it has anything to do with the microphone?
I blame the microphone. As
The
my-
funny. This is a funny mic.
Are my sarcastic subtleties not coming through on the mic? That's
They
what I'm
are.
thinking.
You look good, by the way, today.
Oh well, thank you very much. I'm feeling a little, bloated.
Oh, yeah?
Did you shave?
I did. I got a goatee right now. Can you tell?
That's right. There's something
I shaved.
different.
Oh,
yeah, the
yeah,
whole
yeah,
head,
the
like
beard.
everything.
I
is
shaved everything. I shaved it down to bone.
Yeah.
Yeah, you shaved everything except the goatee. Yeah.
Yeah, you're really observant for a doctor.
Just one on the podcast. I play a doctor on the podcast.
So right now you are in, I know at least two bands. You got the Perry Bakalos Group,
Yep.
right?
that's my
And then
own,
you've got Atlas Soul,
Yeah.
which, by the way, if you've heard our first podcast that we do, that we talk about like what we're doing here, we mentioned you. Did you hear it? And we said the name of your band really awesomely. I said, yeah, and Perry Bakalos, he's in Atlas, and we both went, Soul.
Yeah. That was a nice touch.
If you ever want to,
You should use that on your album somewhere, like
Yeah.
as like
sample.
yeah,
or
sample.
promo.
And then you also have Essential Hazzard now. Is that still going on?
No, that's defunct.
Oh, it's defunct now. But that was not too long ago, right? 2014, I think it was.
2012.
Okay, a little more
Yeah.
longer than that.
Yeah, that didn't last that long, really.
How long were you in that band?
I like the name.
That was like a couple of years.
Okay.
And, we recorded a record. We did a CD. And that kind of material is, honestly, it's tough to play. It's tough to pull off what we did on that record live.
Yeah, I mean it's real jazz kind of exploration kind of thing. It's not standard jazz, but it's
It needs a lot of rehearsal, which,
Yeah.
as you guys know,
it's
Fusion.
impossible.
doesn't come very easily, no matter what kind of group you're playing.
Yeah, no kidding.
So,
Oh yeah, that was jazz fusion. In a
yeah, it
sense,
was
right?
fusion. Yeah.
Actually, Defunct could be a name of a band.
That is a good name. It sounds
'Cause
like
you
it could
said-
be, especially if you spell it defunct.
Yeah, it's like, how'd you get the name Defunct? Well, I had this band. It was Essential Hazzard, and then I said it was Defunct. I like that.
Yeah. Well, I try to mix that word funk in there wherever possible. Like, I like to call my group sometimes PB Funkfusion,
Funkfusion.
Very clever.
That's good.
Yeah.
I like it.
because that's what we do, funk and fusion.
But right after 2012, then was 2013, and that was the year you came out with that awesome tune with Reggie.
Yeah.
That's the one you won that award for.
Yes, we were fortunate to.
That's a cool tune.
We recorded a tune. First, I recorded the music. It was originally intended. I thought it was going to be an instrumental,
It's This Won't Take Long. That's
Won't Take
that's the
Long,
name
yeah.
of this song.
and I had some good players come down and record it. Dave Fox played drums on that. Sounded great on that cut, actually. And Dave Buddha played the bass on it. And he had a nice bass solo in there, but we ended up cutting it down to make it shorten the length of the tune,
Yeah.
just to, for commercial purposes, which didn't really end up panning out hugely, but
Well, you won an award.
yeah,
That's true.
we won the award, which is
That
great.
could have been that bass solo edit that made
been.
that award.
It was-
pushed you over the edge.
Yeah, it was the 2013 Independent Music Awards. It won the Vox Populi.
Vox Populi, yeah.
Vote for,
IMA Vox
best-
Populi 2013.
Because I think
Funk fusion song.
Perry, we'd like to have you play live sometime, but I think we'll bring in some of your music. Maybe we could do a couple clips, because that one's a great example of something that you've done that crosses not all, but several modalities, or several is modalities the right word?
Genres, maybe?
Several genres of.
You sounded really smart though when you said it.
I was thinking about a different type of modality, but anyways, and it's pop too. It's pop and it's funky and it's got Reggie. I like that tune a lot.
Thank you. Thank you, Ron.
It
Yeah, it
won't take
came out
long.
well. Came out well.
It won't take long.
You know, Reggie really put the icing on the cake there. He made it what it is, because otherwise it would have been an instrumental with a bunch of solos on it. There's
Well,
still
that's
a
the
couple
thing.
solos on
Is,
it, but
you know what's good about it is that it has the Perry Bakalos signature, because it's got melodic guitar licks that repeat, and that to me is, you can improv all you want, which you're obviously a great improvisationalist, but to have sort of these hooks that are on the guitar or any instrument that you want to hear again, it's got that, which is pretty cool.
you know, I recorded that down in my studio as well.
Yeah, that's right. Your
I don't know
studio
if you guys know
is it is called Erudite
Erudite.
Effects Studios, and that's in Maynard, Massachusetts.
Mass,
And I've
yeah.
been there.
Yep.
It's a pretty impressive.
Most of you guys have been there.
Yeah, impressive room down there. Yeah. So, how much recording are you doing down there? Are you recording anybody other than yourself down there?
So far, I've only recorded Atlas Soul.
Yeah.
I did their last EP
Yeah.
that came out, and I recorded, you know, Essential Hazzard
Yeah.
record down there.
That's okay. Don't worry.
And
We got trains going by. Someone's going to walk in and
That's
throw
true.
something. It's okay.
it's not the BBC here. We can
No, exactly. We're not. No, don't worry about it. So you've had Atlas Soul down there. So it's really kind of just doing your bands and stuff like that.
Yeah, the projects that I'm involved with.
Yeah. Well,
Now,
that's awesome.
I'm willing to record other people down there. It's just that they don't want to afford, you know, they can't afford my rate.
That's
which is,
you want good
that's-
stuff. You
that's
got to
the
pay
problem.
for it.
What's that, about $15 an hour?
Yeah, times 10.
So really,
You gotta
so,
make it worth
so
your
it's,
while.
it sounds really good. I remember being there, and you got a great sound in there and a great kit. I love that drum kit in the corner.
That Yamaha kit.
It
Yeah,
sounds good.
What do you-
records well. I mean, plus I have the advantage of having the mics set up on it continuously.
All the
Right.
time.
You don't move it or anything like
Yeah.
that.
Totally. Do you
That
use Pro
helps.
Tools?
Yeah, I
or
was just
do
about to
you-
ask. What do you use?
I used, for that record, I used Sonar, Cakewalk Sonar,
Oh, okay.
which is a great, you know, if you ask me, they're all kind of the same.
Yeah, it's just the interface, really.
Yeah.
Right.
It's where you pick one and you master it, and I mean, Pro Tools is great, but I'm not gonna switch over to that because I have to pay for it.
Right. No, it's not.
If someone gave it to me, that'd be a different story.
Well, of course.
Well-
Free is good.
If you're ever running into a problem, Chuck can come over and help you out.
That's right.
But just not to get away from your music. You are an engineer. You went to Northeastern University, so as I did, my alma mater as well. But you're an electrical engineer, and you worked for several different high profile companies there, and I mean that's a big part of what you do, like in musically. I mean, obviously you got the studio. You fixed an amp of mine. I mean, I know you do a lot of stuff like that. I
Yep.
mean, have you kind of made that engineering degree work for you musically more than just those two things that I've mentioned?
Yeah, I worked for 15 years at Bose Corporation.
Okay,
That
that's
was,
right. That's right.
That was all about audio. I happened to work in the active noise reduction.
Yeah, I
group,
have the headphones.
which is
awesome
yeah.
headphones.
So I gained a lot of experience in audio there because that's what the company does. So really, when I started working there is when I got into audio engineering more, because first of all, there's a lot of engineers there and there's a lot of musicians.
Right, I know. They
And-
kind of go hand in hand, don't they?
Yeah,
a lot
they're
of people.
kind of both
Yeah.
engineers and musicians. So you learn a lot from the people there. There's a lot of smart people there, smarter than I am.
Has it helped you with your live performance and like getting your sound, your tone right?
I don't think so.
No,
No, I don't think that I'm great at getting tones.
I'm terrible at it.
Yeah, I mean, I sort of hone in on something that's acceptable, and then I kind of just worry about how I'm playing more than the tone.
Yeah.
You have to separate that, I would imagine.
Yeah, I mean, other people I notice, they get a great tone. I love the tone they get, but I just don't do that. I don't know why.
I just if I get a good tone, it's pure luck.
Yeah.
It's literally just I plug in and for some reason my foot hit something and I'm getting great tone, and then if I don't get great tone, then I just give up. But
Yeah.
So it says something about trying to get great tone, even if you're an engineer and a good one at that. With you, it's still impossible to get great tone without like keeping on trying to get
Right,
it.
you got to go for it. You have to be interested in trying to get a great tone. I mean, because of my engineering background, I can hone in on something that's acceptable very quickly, but I
But it's
wouldn't
never-
call it excellent.
Right.
You know, like I said, I'm more worried about the playing than the details about the tone.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm interested in this though. So if you look at the actual sound of the tone you're getting on the guitar, what part of you is just sort of thinking about sort of how it sounds and it's more artistic versus the scientific part of you that's thinking, okay, well, the engineering part of your brain thinking about, well, I could tweak this, I could tweak that, or what part of it is just sort of like a feeling of, I don't like that sound?
Yeah, I think it starts around with the feeling. If it doesn't feel right, then I have to try to figure out why. And a lot of times it's just, you have to cut maybe some mids or some bass or something like that, or you got to turn the treble up a little bit. Some minor tweaks.
Because I was thinking that the engineer in you almost would almost, not in you per se, but in someone made it get in the way in a sense because you're thinking about it too much.
Probably that's true. I don't think it's true with me. I operate more from the feel first, and then I try to figure out how to shape the sound that I think I want to hear through the technical means, but it's not the other way around anyway.
Right, because you can hear the organic sound in how you play. That it's just sort of like, and even when you're playing live, it's not calculated.
Yeah.
It's very sort of, I'm feeling this right now. I remember when you played on. Yeah.
I like your look because you put the hat on your head, which I like to do. It's a bald guy thing, but I
when
like
you don't
having
have
it on, and it makes me very kind of in my little space, putting that hat on my head. I don't know what it is. I always have to add. I don't have one on now but
it's almost like a little. It's almost like a little Linus blanket.
It is. I just feel. I don't know what it is. I feel more comfortable with a hat on my head when I'm playing,
especially when it's cold out.
Especially when it's cold out.
When it's hot, it's not so good.
I've done it where I had a winter hat and I'm sweating my.
Oh yeah. Oh, you're talking about like those fuzzy hats, like the little.
Like a winter hat, or whatever. It might be.
Not a baseball hat. Right.
Well, you can still sweat in a baseball hat, but.
See, me and Chuck have that bond. See,
it's the bond.
You're still,
I like hats.
You know what the other bond thing is? Is that everybody thinks we're dangerous and badass because we're bald. It's a thing where everyone thinks like I'm really tough, and I'm like, why do you think I'm tough? I'm like, because I'm bald, right? Because all bald guys are like tough. For some reason, there's like some kind of
how do you know
correlation. Not all of them.
How do you know that people think that?
Because people have said to me, well, I'd never mess with you. I'm like, you never mess with me. Why not?
Chuck
you've actually heard that before.
Yeah.
Chuck looks a little tough, though, doesn't he?
I don't look tough.
I think it's you're big. You're kind of a fairly large, framed guy.
I don't know. I always felt like I was
like you're in pretty
puny.
good shape.
Well, I'm in a shape, but that's a different story.
In a shape.
All right, but anyways, besides our bald heads, you just did a really great video interview, and who was that with?
That was with a group called Bub Awards.
Bub Awards?
Boston Underground Band Awards.
Oh, okay.
Underground, I remember. This is really good.
It was a great interview. It was, you had some great stuff, and I don't mean to steal their thunder, but I'll point everyone in their direction because it's a great interview, but you had a great story about your initial criminal activity. And how you found an album that you really liked, which I thought was a great story.
Yeah,
you don't have to tell it again, but basically you stole something from your cousin or something like that.
Yeah,
right? A Led Zeppelin album.
45 records. He had a stack of them.
Was that where you found Lemon Song?
No, actually, that's what led me to the Lemon Song because it was on a 45 that we lifted from my cousin's place, but that was Whole Lot of Love, and on the B side was Livin', Lovin' Made. You remember those tunes?
Mm-hmm. Yes, of course.
Awesome, right? So then I said, wow, this group is something, But it was years later because I was like maybe, 10 years old when we did that. And
but you
later on, we went and bought some of the actual Led Zeppelin records.
So you were 10 when you grabbed those records?
Something like that. I mean, I don't even remember.
Right, of course. You were a little kid. But you played violin.
Yep.
And how old were you when you were playing the violin?
I was probably 6.
Yeah, but you played for what did you say? Like
6 to 10.
Yeah, 6 years or something like that?
Yeah.
So that was interesting. I didn't know that about you. You still play it all?
No, it's very difficult to play the violin.
Unless I would imagine.
If I kept playing it, I might be able to still play it. But
it's not like riding a bike.
Ergonomically, get your elbow over. You got to clamp down on the thing with your chin.
Yeah.
You have to be flexible the older you get.
Yeah, because with the dexterity, too, of the left hand, obviously it's about just like what you do with the guitar.
Yeah.
However, it's so small.
It's small. The neck is thin.
And there's no frets.
The strings are very
the
tiny.
intonation is... The violin is is fascinating.
Very difficult instrument.
But that's
to play.
that's a good instrument to start when you're young because it's all about your ears.
Yes,
It's all about knowing what is on, what's not on, and that's
agree.
great for a kid.
It helps with the ear training, but you could argue that the piano is a lot better because the notes are discrete. As long as the thing is tuned up,
Right.
you know what those notes are.
Yeah, it's very
The
tangible.
violin, if you're playing, with bad intonation, that doesn't help your ear.
But, every violinist I've met, or I've met a couple of cellists, they can play any instrument. Doesn't matter what it is. They're like awesome at whatever those those stringed instruments. But they can pick up a guitar. They can pick up. They just have that whatever it is. That with the difficulty of learning that instrument, they seem to just kind of pick up any other instrument really easily.
Yeah.
Which is kind of segues into this way, how you went from violin and gravitated toward the guitar, and that was the instrument.
Bass guitar, really. I started out with bass.
Yeah,
So you went to bass, and then you went to the guitar.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I want to hear about the timing stuff that you do, the different timing.
Well,
time signatures, and also sort of the influence of the Greek background. And that
Yeah.
because I've always loved different times, Rush and that kind of stuff. But that's the modern pop version. But just that sort of that ethnic, different cultural time signatures is pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean they have that in different cultures. I mean, I'm not like a world music person where I know all the different styles from different countries and everything. But typically the folk music, at least from Europe, seems to have a lot of that. 10/8, 12/8. And the Greek music, that's what it is. A lot of it from the hills, from the villages. It's like it has those odd little hitches in the time. It's not just 4/4 all the time. They have a lot of stuff that is 4/4, but
Because it makes you dance a different way too.
yeah, you have to throw a little hitch step into the dance, which keeps everybody honest because you have to know the dance, the sequence of steps in order to.
And this gets back to your Greek heritage. You toured with who's the guy you toured with the
Tokos?
Foko.
Foko.
Yeah, Greek guitar
in
player.
the 1990s. You toured with him, a Greek rock fusion guitarist.
Yes, he was quite a character.
Yeah.
I'll have to tell you.
Yeah, is he still around?
He's living in Greece. Yeah, he's. I don't think he plays as much as he used to. He's getting old. But
So, were you touring the United States with him? Was he here at the time, or were you over there?
we were over here.
Oh, okay. And so you went from you did that, and then you played bass for them.
Yeah.
And
bass
then
player.
when did you start playing? I'm sorry. When did you start saying you played the guitar
2005.
in earnest? 2005. You started playing the guitar, and
Yeah.
that's your primary instrument now.
It is now. And the reason why I got into guitar was in 2000 we had me and my wife. We had our first child, and I dropped out of music for like 5 years.
Yeah,
because
it
shortly
happens.
after we had our first kid, we ended up having 3 more kids. So
At once.
yeah,
You have triplets,
triplet
right?
girls.
Oh my God! I thought you were making a joke.
No.
I did not know you had triplets. My
Chuck, I would
goodness.
never joke about triplets.
You would never be funny, anyways. But
But yeah, aren't they?
wow.
Are they
I
like
didn't know.
12 now, right?
Yeah, they're 12 exactly, and
That's a good guess. No, I thought they were 11 actually.
If you thought
Wow.
about
So
that.
you had
Well-
triplet 12-years-olds now.
yeah. So.
Wow. Yeah,
Why
so-
did
That's a
I
lot
I
at
got
once.
back into music because I needed to get away from that.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
I really started studying the guitar. I said, because, you guys have kids. When you have kids, your free time shrinks down to almost nothing,
Right.
So,
It turns into like late night things while they're asleep, kind of thing. That's
yeah,
what
it
happens.
really puts things in perspective. What's your priorities now with your free time? What are you
Sure.
going to do?
Oh yeah.
So you pick the things that you really love, and you think, it gives you a chance to think about it, hone in on the things you really like. So that's what I did, and I said, music. I've always enjoyed music. I love it. So I started studying the guitar. Basically on my own. I'd buy
self-taught, right?
books, yeah.
Bought books and you figured that out.
Well, I've noticed about your playing in guitar is that it has more of a sort of a bass guitar-driven rhythm.
Maybe that comes from the days of playing the bass.
That's
I'm
what I
not
mean.
sure.
Oh, that's what I think. I don't know.
But it's also very jazz. It's not rock soloing
Right.
that you can do. I've seen you do it, but it's also, I mean, like with the Perry Bakalos Group video I saw. I mean, just a lot of just going up and down the fret really, really fast. You're just staying within
Yeah,
those.
I'm trying to play jazz. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
it's
not- I'm
more
not the-
jazzy soloing,
know.
but it's great. I mean, it's really.
Well, it's almost like, our mutual friend Allison, it reminds me, she'll do bass soloing it almost is reminiscent of that, of like it's bass combined with guitar combined with jazz.
Right.
It's a rhythm to it, but it's also, it's not your, like your guitar type of licks that Chuck was saying.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Allison's got a jazz
screaming
background, so
Right.
she, and we've all played with Allison.
Of course.
by the way,
Yeah.
So she's great.
Yeah.
Really what I wanted to play when I was a little kid, you guys might be the same, is drums. I mean, I picked up the pots and pans.
I did want to do that.
I
and
really
never
wanted
did
to
it.
play the drums,
Yeah.
but my parents thought it's just you're
Too
gonna
loud.
make too much noise.
Yeah,
you know?
I don't blame them.
So why don't you play the violin instead? They said to me, and I said I don't want to play the violin. I want to play the drums. I want to play the pots and pans. I told them, but they steered me into the violin.
Well,
and
You must have been decent for 6 years, because you can make an argument that a violin would sound a lot more painful than some pots and pans.
I'm sure it did too.
So you were never in a rock band, were you? Were you just like a pure rock?
No, I was. Yeah,
You were
early on.
early on. But as an adult, when you really got back into music, you really gravitated towards what you do at Atlas Soul, which is kind of like a funk, and you also
It's
do
North
like,
African
it's like
style.
Yeah, it's
funk.
a little reggae in there, kind of thing.
A little bit. I mean, it's a fusion again. It's North African style, Moroccan,
but certainly
Algerian.
not rock and roll.
No, it's not rock.
It's you're more interested in that kind of.
I like rhythmic stuff. I
Yeah.
think Ron, touched on something there that just kind of reminded myself that I do like the rhythmic stuff. And just the straight ahead rock stuff, I like it, but I like syncopations in the music. I want it to be fairly complex rhythmically.
Right.
It doesn't have to be super complex, but just like funk, when you listen to funk drummers, when they play that linear style, and they throw these little licks in there that are off the downbeats, it's not on the beat. It's like, that kind of stuff. I really love that.
Yeah.
That's really what drives me in music. And I think, again, it comes down, I wanted to be a drummer, but just didn't pan out.
No, but it's interesting. Before in the conversation, you said that you don't consider yourself sort of like worldly and or knowing about all the different worldly music, but really, in a sense, you sort of I don't know. I think that you are. I think that you yourself have that in you. I don't. You may not, sort of.
Well,
follow all of the worldly music, but that is what I think of when I think of world music. I think of that sort of that syncopated, rhythmic trance type of thing that has like a, it's got a real emotion to it. It's melody, but it's rhythmic at the same time.
Yeah,
it's almost like Paul Simon did that for a while too in the pop world,
right,
but
with the African stuff.
Yeah,
I think those influences are all there, but I'm not a scholar when it comes to that stuff. I'm not. I don't.
You just feel it.
I don't have the references and the knowledge. I just listen to stuff, and like you guys, I listen to stuff, and some of it sinks in.
No, we're both scholars.
When you when you're writing, and you write everything for the Perry Bakalos Group, right? Is that all you?
I do. Yeah.
And
I hope so.
A lot of the stuff you do is instrumental. And is that just the main thing? You'd make it instrumental, and then someone may say, I've got some great lyrics. I might pop in here well, and that you'll just kind of let that happen, or is that you write stuff hoping that some lyrics come in, or you just don't even care? You kind of figure where it goes.
Really
where it goes.
Start with the instrumental because I can't sing, so
yeah.
I think I have to do it instrumentally because that's the only way that I'd be able to pull it off.
Right.
Although I can't pull it off by myself anyway because I need rhythm section, bass drums.
I saw something you did some kind of, I think was it on your website that I saw it? You have one track there. It's just kind of
just guitar.
It's just guitar, but you labeled it as ambient music, I think, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I got really into that for a while.
I'm really into that kind of stuff too.
Yeah. David Torn, Brian Eno.
Exactly. Do you still do that stuff?
I don't do it much anymore.
And when you did it, did you use a lot of electronic piano
I had
and things like that?
Well, it was all the looper pedal. I was getting really into that stuff with who was the guy that used to play with King Crimson? He did it too.
Fripp,
that's it. Robert Fripp.
There you go. I didn't have to look it up.
That was without Siri. That's impressive.
Yeah. Robert Fripp.
There was an album that Fripp and Eno did together called Metal something or other.
Yeah, I think it was vaguely familiar.
It was so weird.
Yeah, well, at the time when he left, what was the band that he was in with?
Roxy Music.
Roxy Music. When he left Roxy Music, he did some really out of this world stuff,
you know,
really crazy stuff.
Well,
Like
Roxy Music, another influence. I mean, you remember that tune "Love Is the Drug"?
yeah, they're great.
Like, I heard that.
There's a great
on the
documentary I
radio
saw of them.
as a little kid, and I said, "Man, what the heck is that? That's
Yeah.
great."
And that was when he had like, didn't he have like a single ponytail coming out of the back of his head?
Yeah.
Like some weird haircut back then.
Real cool look to the
really
whole
cool
band.
look, and then then
Didn't he become a
Brian
producer, right?
Yeah, he does.
Obviously,
ton
he's
of
done
stuff.
He's
yeah.
done like the U2
Well, he worked with
Yeah.
Peter Gabriel and
and U2. I think.
Yeah, a lot of different
yeah,
artists.
a lot of people. Yeah, he's still working today. He's awesome.
Yeah,
He worked with the Butler Frogs too. I think.
he should.
he should.
He should. But are you a big
King Crimson.
King Crimson? You good like King
I got
Crimson?
into them.
Yeah,
a
that's.
bit, you know.
I mean, that's-
my brother was more into them than I was.
But it's a lot. That kind of guitar playing reminds me a little bit of you, except it's a little bit more repetitive. They do that kind of, when Elephant Talk and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's kind of a little bit more repetitive.
Elephant Talk was great.
It's a great song. Yeah,
I used to try to cop that line on the bass guitar. Tony Levin was playing that on the stick. You know, that boom. Boom.
Yeah. Oh, it's such a. I have to pull that out. I haven't heard that in a long time.
Was Tony Levin in King Crimson?
He was.
He must have been so young. I mean, that was.
It's still King Crimson is still touring, right?
I don't know. Good question.
I thought they were.
I thought they were before that.
But yeah, the looper pedal is what I ended up buying a Gibson Echoplex EDP1 or something like that. It was the top of the line at the time. This is back, in the 90s.
Yeah.
And I really...
I think it's a lot of fun. I got into it for a little while, but it's great to sort of like, you can harmonize some either lyrics or some or guitar, and then you have a way to practice. But you can also come up with some weird stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Hey, Perry, so I want to know about, I want you to sing to me. Can you sing to me?
I can.
I want to sing,
I'll try.
or I want to hear El Greco.
The tune that...
Because
the one that I wrote?
Yeah,
I got
yeah,
two of them.
yeah.
Version 1 and number 1 and number
we
2.
can, don't worry, we can edit this out if you don't want. But,
who?
but,
Me? Don't look at me. I love it.
No,
do whatever you want.
El Greco, a cappella. Hey! All right, very good. Very good.
Should I know that? What is that?
This is a Perry Bakalos tune. It's
I
good.
never heard that one.
Thank you, man.
Right.
Was that on my
We'll
Big
edit
Fat
that
Greek
out,
wedding? Is that? It should.
No, but he wrote that. It's. I have the music to it. It's. That was a nice interlude.
What are your next projects here? I know that the Perry Bakalos Group has been playing out a lot, and I know Atlas Soul, those are your two main things now. Do you have like a big?
Yeah.
Are you in the studio now? Are you writing? Is there something coming out, sir, that we should keep our eye out for?
Yeah, well, I'm working on a recording for the Perry Bakalos Group right now. Putting some basic tracks together. A friend of mine, bass player Pat Chrisman, also known as Rance Mohammed. He's helped me out putting some sequences together for some tracks. And right now I just have guitar and click track. And I'm going to start putting it. My plan is for drummers. There's a few drummers that I'd like to have record on it. And one is the guy that usually plays with Perry Bakalos Group, great drummer, Najim Kabir is his name, Algerian
he's
guy.
awesome.
He also used to play a lot with Atlas Soul. He hasn't been playing as much. He's gotten into other things recently, but
Najim
he's
is
an
awesome.
excellent drummer. Yeah, groove master. Him and recently Perry Bakalos Group, we did a gig up in New Hampshire and had the pleasure of playing with a Steve Michaud, also excellent drummer. There's this dude out in Springfield who's a great drummer, plays in a friend of mine's group, John Hannafin Project. And I'm going to have him playing on some tracks too, because I tell you, he's one of the best drummers that I've ever heard.
What's the instrumentation? Drums, bass, guitar?
Yeah,
Like
and
trio?
and trumpet.
Oh, trumpet.
And I have my friend Matt Dunkel.
Yeah, we know Matt.
He's probably going to play most of the trumpet.
He's
But
got a
there's
great
other
ear.
guys, too.
He's a creative guy.
So I mean, you have two Atlas Soul albums out, Gypsy Wind and Live at the Regatta Bar. Essential Hazzard has one that was in 2012, and then you did some backup stuff for Foco at the time.
On the bass, yeah.
Right.
We recorded 2 records with Foco.
So you hope to
in the
do
90s.
something with the Perry Bakalos Group, get an album up there? You're looking at
Yeah, I
an
want to
EP
make
or something?
I want to make
or?
an album. Yeah. I've got like 10, 12 tracks that we did the basic
Yeah,
tracks.
so you can do a full album then.
Yeah.
So if once you come out with an album, where can someone go to hear what's going on in Perry Bakalos world? You have a
I
website.
haven't even gone that far.
You have a website.
Oh, I have a website.
There you go.
Yeah.
Can I give you your home address?
You have a pretty full website. It's got like you got
tomato
Is Perry there?
it's got your
Hello.
It's got your you just made the whole thing look you peaked there. You're yelling too loud in the mic. You get the perrybakalos.com. Is it a dash between there? Perry
No.
Bakalos? Just straight perrybakalos.com.
Yeah.
And you've got your engineering stuff as well as your studio
Yep.
stuff as well and your music stuff. And you got some
Yeah, it's kind of a mixture of
it's a mix
stuff
of
on
everything.
there.
It's the whole Perry Bakalos
Smorgasbord.
world tour.
I didn't want to make
Perry.
3 different websites, so I just kind of threw
No,
it
it's
all
good. It's like I have a couple of I have my own personal website and I have the Butler Frog website and then we have the Above the Basement website. And if I could put it all into 3 into 1, that would save me a ton of time because it's just so much
No,
to
but
keep
it's-
up.
But the thing is, it's better to have them separate like that.
I guess,
You
but then you have to have a separate Instagram accounts and separate Twitter accounts and separate Facebook things. It's like
That's true.
It just
It multiplies
everything, and it's just a lot of busy work that we have to do.
I'm lazy, so I don't want to do that. And I don't
It's
really
a good
care.
site. It's clear and concise, and you can see what's going on with you. And so I don't have a problem with it. So anyways, go to perrybakalos.com, and
Yeah.
then when you come out with your album, when you anticipate end of 2016.
I got to line up some people to do some tracks for me. We got some bass players I got to line up. We got Tim Weiner, who used to play with us, and I want to use him and some other people.
Give me a deadline. Give me a date.
My deadline.
Winter
is-
2017.
Yeah, my deadline would probably be by the end of 2017.
By the end of 2017. All right. Well, in the meantime, you are playing out, and you do put your gigs on your website when you're playing.
Sometimes,
All right.
sometimes, most of the time, not.
All right. Well, so next gig, go outside your front door and just scream when you're playing next.
Yeah, right.
But we will, when we can certainly let people know when you're playing.
Well, I appreciate
'Cause,
that, Chuck,
you guys
know,
are-
I mean, it's.
You're great. I love watching you play, and
I like playing with you guys. If
Yeah.
you should, we should sort of arrange some substitution gigs for me.
Well, we could just add an extra band member to it. We
Yeah.
can just turn it into the Doobie Brothers and just have 15 people.
No, but we should play together sometime. It'd be good.
I'd love to.
I like that you listen. A lot of people don't listen as much as I could tell that. Like you're playing, but you're also listening at the same time, and it shows. So I like that.
Oh, thank you, Ron. I mean, I think that's very important, especially when you're improvising.
Yeah. And it shows that you're sort of connecting with people. That's what it's all about.
Right.
Well, thanks, man.
Oh, one thing I forgot to say was
Yeah.
to give a plug for a friend of mine's group that I've been playing with all summer.
Sure.
Is 8 Feet Tall Band. That's
8 Feet Tall Band.
It's a hip hop reggae group.
Okay.
And
I like that. Where are they playing?
I don't know when the next gig is, but there was a bunch.
Well,
of
when you
Do they have a website?
when you scream out of your
He's got
front
a
door when
website,
your next
yeah.
gig is, you can scream
So-
the same.
Yeah.
Is it called 8 Feet Tall Band?
Well, 8 Feet Tall, and it's a band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
8 feet tall.
Yeah.
And it's hip hop?
Yeah. Pete Doom is his stage name. Really excellent rapper.
Oh wow.
Was he a
It's,
rap Scallions?
Yeah, he
Yeah,
books,
he's good,
He books
yeah.
raps.
Oh yeah, did he sing for you when you guys were playing there? Or did he rap for
Yeah,
you?
he did a little bit.
Yeah,
Alright, so I
I remember
met
him. Yeah, he's really good.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
good. I mean, you could even have him on this show here. I mean, he's
Sure.
got some good stuff.
We only have scholars on, so if he's a scholar, then he can be on just like you.
Well, I'll
That's
check
right.
into that.
A hip hop
Check into
scholar. That'd be good.
Yeah, we definitely could get some hip hop on here because we haven't had any hip hop on here.
that. Yeah, those guys know it all too.
Yeah,
him and
I
his,
bet.
Him and his guys, they pull out all the old.
He was a nice guy. I spoke to him very briefly, and
Yeah.
he was yeah. So we'll play a track off of your album, and we'll play the one you won an award for, which is this one.
It won't take long.
All right.
We'll take that.
This
Well,
won't take long.
unless you change your mind, you want to do that, but that's probably the one we're going to play at the end.
Sure,
Of this.
that's I like the.
We already did a song.
Or maybe we'll do it in the beginning. We can play it in the beginning, and then people will kind of get a taste of it. Well, thanks, man. We
Thanks,
appreciate
guys.
you coming. We talked for almost an hour.
Wow.
It's
I'm
gonna
going
be
to have to edit that
It's going to be a lot of editing on this thing.
Well, you're going to have to edit what you just said about talking for an hour, because then they'll know after it's a
Right.
half
Well,
hour.
you know,
that-
there's plenty of stuff we're going to be
That
editing.
went by
into this.
quick. I mean,
It
that
did.
was fast.
It's fun to do.
You're going to edit out most of my stuff?
And I didn't
you
have
think?
any problems here. It looked like everything was good. So, all right, I'm going to turn this off now.
You're going to edit me out a lot, aren't you?
Oh, you know it.
Good night.
Bye. So that is our show for today. Thanks to Perry for all his help on our production and for sitting with us and for his conversation. You can purchase his music on his website at perrybakalos.com and also on iTunes and CD Baby. And as always, we are grateful for the hospitality of Woods Hill Table for letting us record there. Check out our own website at abovethebasement.com, where you can sign up for our newsletter, listen and subscribe to our podcasts, like our Facebook page, follow us on Twitter, and look at all the nice pictures we post on Instagram. We are everywhere. On behalf of Ronnie and myself, thanks for listening. Tell your friends, and remember, Boston music, like its history, is unique.
This song if you let it get you high like dope from a bone, but not the kind of dope you smoke and choke on that leaves you hungry for ding dongs, but the kind of dope you can believe in, putting you together when you're feeling broken. Music, baby, use it, baby. Your ass wants to move, now move it, baby. Go on, roam like a cyclone, you off like King Kong. Get down and get your groove on, let your funk muscles get warm, let the boogie hustle into your bones, into the dimension of the funk hop zone, where the only thing wrong is to bitch and moan. Nobody here is wishing that they had stayed home. Now dig, that didn't take long. This won't take long. Not this won't take long. It ain't gonna take long. Now it's been a few measures since I had the pleasure of yakking at y'all of how funk endeavors to get deep in ya and then send ya to a place where you can then transcend your madness. Start dancing the path where the glad is, where the mind and the soul unfold like a lotus. But you say, hold up, what kind of hippie hocus pocus is this business, man? I came to unwind, chill, bump and grind, get a drink, not think, not use my mind. To hell with that, where the manager at? I want my money back, yo. But before you go home, hear me out, kid. The mind and soul and ass are connected. That's it, no need to get gone, Holmes. Not if that take long. This won't take long. No, it won't take long. It won't take long. No. This won't take long. No, this won't take long. Oh, I'm here to tell you that it won't take long. Check it. This won't take long. No. It won't take long. Check it. Last verse to the song. This be the last time I'm a funk a flash rhyme. So I hope you don't mind, but you didn't leave, so to me that's a sign you and I might actually be the same kind. Inclined to see no wrong with a little lyrical, metaphysical ham bone thrown in the stew of a funk song. A little extra something for y'all to gnaw on. At times it seems we're owned by smartphones, gear in one ear like Techniclones. Then suddenly snap, we need to unapp, unplug, then dig and get dug. Indeed, it's a fact that we need human contact. That's why we all came out, so that we could react to a funk-filled song. Indeed, it didn't take long.